Hello, Internet! Welcome to Hoard of the Dragon Queen number 16. There's a lot of things going on, so I got a lot of stuff to talk about, and then we're going to roll right into the game here. So it's actually good that we got started, I'm going to say early, but really it's still late, but kind of on time. But it's whatever. It's fine. Everything's fine. So, it's July, the most magical of months, aka Magic Item Month here on the channel. And what does that mean for you guys? Well, it means a couple of things. It means that during all of our live streams this month, we will be doing a small time giveaway during the break that we take during the stream. So, be sure to stay tuned for when we come up to the break, we'll be doing a giveaway. It also means that we have a massive, and that's not really massive, it's one thing, but it's a super awesome giveaway that's going the month of July to give away an Elderwood Academy spellbook at the end of the month, thankfully gifted to us by the folks at Elderwood because they like us and we like them and everything is good in that respect. Also, it means if you would like to spend Twitch bits or IRL dollars, you can purchase magic item table rolls for the party. There is a list if you click the donation list, you can see various tables for various dollar amounts. I'm going to put a link in the chat right now for you guys. It's here you go. You can see the list. You can also choose to click on that to enter in to the contest as well. Also, because it's a magic month, the ladies have been given the freedom to take their flint bucks, which is our in-stream currency, to purchase things that you can normally use flint bucks for, but not for themselves, but for each other, because friendship is magic. So that's also something.
When are we playing that test?
Listen, I mean, the book's like right here. Like, I'm reading through it, and I have the whole set, and I got some other things kicking around. It's on the list.
Awesome.
Oh, well, then there we go. Okay, so first of all, to start this all off, because Katie has too many flint bucks and is spending them all now. So, Lux, Odella, and Mer all have a crit to use at their time of their choosing. Lux gets a trinket, Odella gets a trinket, and Mer gets a trinket. Alright, so I'll get to those in a second. Let me go ahead and actually recap what happened in the game, though, before. But, you know, there were some things that were purchased, so that's the thing. So again, stay tuned for a giveaway. Join the Elderwood Academy giveaway. It is open internationally, so anybody can join. And all you have to do is some of the stuff you're probably already doing. Follow our channel on Twitch and YouTube, and make sure you give the folks at Elderwood Academy a follow on Twitter, and that gets you access. You can refer an unlimited amount of friends. You get an extra entry just for showing up and clicking on it each day, and then all the social medias, and so on. So, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about what happened last time. And actually, I'm going to flip it to the four of you. Who wants to give me a recap of what happened last time? See how much everybody was paying attention. Katie, you don't have to because you're sick, but if you want to, you can.
Screaming mushrooms.
Oh, yep, the mushrooms. That was big.
Big boob woman.
Yep, two of them.
Yeah. Big titty committee.
Yep. It's nice to see the what sticks with everybody. Mushrooms and boobs. That's what I should have named last episode. Mushrooms and boobs.
Mushroom boob.
I may go right back and retroactively change it to that.
And then we went around the caravan a lot, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Met some people. Floyd found out about the shady lawyer.
Yep.
And then there was the crazy guy that we just couldn't figure out with the gargoyle on the back of his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there was Odella and Mer had a conversation that Roswin will never acknowledge. They're not actually normal. I was like, you weren't there for that, were you? No. Oh, I was paying attention. And then Lux and Roswin had a conversation about Frida And then there was a golden stag that everybody was talking about, and it woke Roswin up, and she talked to it, and it told her this very fucking cryptic thing. And then she was like, okay, well, I don't want my friends to die, because that's totally what you said at the end of that, and that's pretty messed up. And then he was like, well, here, use this so that your friends are okay, and knocked an antler off, which turned into this magic wristband thing that can turn into a bow that knocks 2 arrows instead of 1. And Rosalind gave that to Myrrh, and I think that was about it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Also, I just added a thing, because I forgot to add it to this part of the stream. It's on the bottom of your screen. You'll see the Nerd Immersion logo and 2,000 hit points. That's a bit boss battle. If you guys donate real world money or bits, it will deal damage to that boss, and as its damage is dealt, if you deal the killing blow to the boss, it will then make you the new boss, and your name will be there, and it's a whole thing. Just a fun little extra thing to add to it. So, okay, I think that was a pretty solid recap of what happened last time. The only other things that really are worth mentioning is that we ended and we made the decision that 5 days are going to pass before we truly start this stream and pick up where we left off. However, some things happened during that time, and we're going to go over those now. So let's stop our recap music and get some other kind of music here. What do we got? This one? Was it this one that you guys liked? No, I think it was this one. This is the... yeah, alright. So, we'll use this one. Alright, so... during that downtime, Lux, those of you who are paying attention to where Lux was out and about, she spent a lot of time, so you're doing her typical Lux thing, asking for help, listening more than talking to her traveling merchant companion as he continues to tell her about how much he's going to make selling his perfumes and his magic cooking oils and all these other things. And then... she also spent a lot of time with her badger, the one that smells of honey. And to the very vigilant observer, because, you know, Lux kind of does her own wandering warrior thing off in the woods, but those would see her training with this in a very Mr. Miyagi-style way, training with this badger, training it so that it would be able to take care of itself. What that means, you'll never know. Maybe you will one day, but that's what was observed during that time. Roswin spent time, as she always does, off gathering various herbs to make to help make poultices and things to help with her friends and help healing and the stuff she typically always does. But you had a couple other things, if I recall, right? You were spending a lot of time chatting with Floyd, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My thug life, Floyd.
Yes, and you had some questions that you wanted to ask of Floyd?
Yes. She has a lot of questions.
All right, well, there's 5 days, so we're going to get through some of them.
Okay. Wow. I'm scrolling back up.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. So,
alright. So, basically, she wants to know what he thinks about people in the caravan, most prominently, like the crazy guy and his gargoyle on the back of his caravan. She wants to know if there's any romance in his life with any other flowers or anything. If he wants to go any place but feels like he's stuck with her, and what's made him stick with her for so long, and also how he was made.
Okay, that's a lot of things. So I'm going to cherry pick a couple of them, and I'll get you some answers here. So that creepy guy with the gargoyle is I ain't never seen anything like that. He's happy, joking, laughing, singing, and then all of a sudden, nothing. And a gargoyle is bizarre. Not a common thing in most places, let alone traveling in a caravan. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I keep my distance just to be on the safe side. What else do we got?
Sage wisdom, thank you.
He goes, no, I haven't really seen much. Not much for the romance nowadays. Not a lot of flowers in my life. That's by choice. Well, let's just say last time things didn't work out so well for old Floyd. That's a story for another day.
Okay.
He goes, I ain't never felt like I was stuck. I go with the flow, and life is where you live it, and home is where the heart is, and all them other cliches. But, no. The reason I chose to hang around and stick with you, kid, is... Well, if I'm being honest, you need somebody looking out for you. You've grown a lot in the time that I've known you, but I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination to say you could be a little bit naive at times. And you need somebody to look over your shoulder, someone that's a little bit worldly. And I'm more than happy to take care of you and be there for you whenever you need.
I think that's very sweet of you, but also want you to know that you do you, because I'm a strong, independent tiefling who don't need no sunflower, but I sure do love the company.
And he goes, sure thing, Dollface. Don't worry about me. And he pats your shoulder with his leaves.
There was one other thing that I forgot to say that I did want to try.
Mm-hmm.
We briefly discussed it, so I don't know how or if it would work, but I did want to investigate trying to do plant drills on him on one of the days. One of the days that was like down, no movement. I don't know if one of those days happened in that 5 period time.
Okay, so you want to try casting plant growth on Floyd for like an 8-hour period, or for like a temporary period?
As a ritual on a down day that we're not moving in the caravan.
I'll say you're pretty much moving every day, so I'm gonna say that you are able to over that time. But let me take a look, because we had talked about it and I totally spaced. So let me pull up plant growth. He's obviously gonna grow in size. There's no doubt about that. But it may not have the ultimate effect, because, at least on a singular casting, as he is, there's some magic there. He's not like a traditional plant, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't believe... it actually does not state in the plant growth spell whether they are magical, sentient, or otherwise. Like, it's when it's cast onto a plant or plants. And you are basically taking 8 hours and casting a thing that could normally make an entire town's crops grow on a singular sunflower.
Loving him real good right now.
For real? So
Just
let's
whispering positive affirmations to him the whole time.
take a look at his stats here.
Leaves are so strong and broad.
Alright, let's see. I will say that, at least for this first casting, because I don't want to bog down too much and I haven't put a ton of thought into it, that for the moment, it has a permanent effect of him basically being under the enlarge part of the enlarge reduce spell. So that does increase him from tiny size, where he can fit on your shoulder, to small size. So he's like the size of a halfling now.
That's not suspicious at all.
That's why I was like, are you sure you want to do this? Because
everybody already knows that she's a druid in the caravan.
Sure, yeah, alright.
Now he can ride on the back of Poppy.
And for all of his attacks, we'll do an extra D4 in damage.
Okay.
I haven't... When we get to... Just do me a favor and don't cast it again this game, so I can put a little bit more thought into it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna fight with him at all, so... At least for now.
She's like, until I cast it like 15 more times and he turns into a treant. And then it's just sunflower
and
ent.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna let that happen. But fair.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm not giving you an ent in your control. It's a little... Listen, if this was 3-5, sure. That was a thing you could do as a druid. You could take your walking stick and be like, poof, now it's an ent. Fight for me, and then it just turns back into a staff at the end of it. But this is 5e. Things are a little more balanced. Okay. Was that it for... I think I got everything for Roswin and Lux at the moment, correct?
Yeah, we do want to have a conversation later, but you can
You
go through...
You too. Okay. I'm going to jump to Odella, because Odella specifically had told me she did want to focus a bunch on trying to cheer up Reginald. So I will tell you, over your 4-5 days of speaking with Reginald, you got him to sort of come out of his shell a little bit. Reginald been very reserved. But basically, he told you a tale. And, well, Reginald told you a long, sad tale of past loves lost. And he essentially tells you this tale about...
I like how the sexy sax music is still happening.
Yeah, I'm not changing it, because it fits. He tells you a tale about the love of his life when he was a younger man. And he was in love with a man named Luther, and he was starry-eyed in love with this man, the love of his life, gonna spend the rest of their lives together, until a fateful evening when Luther's wife, Martha, found them and caught them in the act, at which point, as a crime of passion, utilizing her magic, murdered Luther in front of Reginald. And fled the scene with an ice knife spell, so no evidence. And fled the scene. And Reginald, he was distraught. And he left and started traveling and went and eventually made his way to Baldur's Gate from Cormyr, let's say. So a far trip west, where after years and years of being closed off and alone, he finally opened up his heart to whatever the other guy's name was, who I forgot. And that guy, the guy who was hamstringed, and that was the first person that he'd really opened up to in all that time. And lo and behold, turned out that he was also a liar, and he's just a wreck, and feels like he doesn't feel like he can trust anyone ever again. So that's what you get from Reginald over your time of trying to cheer him up. He's still not really cheered up, but he opened up to you to let you know what's going on.
But I got like the juiciest story ever in the world, and that was cool.
And Martha is still at large. As far as he
Wasn't
knows.
the ghost lady named Martha?
Was there a ghost? Yeah, there was.
Martha
Yeah.
Strawberry. The ghost lady. It was Martha Strawberry.
If you say that, he'll basically, it's Martha Grayson is her name. That's what she said. That's what he found out.
You just putting together all the Batmans.
Yeah. No, Luther, I was been watching Batman the Animated Series, and Claire threw out Martha as a name, and I was like, well, it can't be Wayne or Kent, so Grayson, why not? Let's go that way.
And all the Batmans.
Mm-hmm. So yes. So that's what you get from Reginald.
Well, I mean, at least I feel like he got some stuff off his chest. Maybe he can begin to heal. At this
Sure.
point.
Maybe. One can hope for dear Reginald. Okay. And then I think did Mer have anything specific she wanted to do over that time other than having a conversation?
No. None. She wasn't. I mean, other than like doing the spying,
Right.
nightly spying.
Yes. So, do I have... what do we got here? Is this a good one? Yeah, this is a good one. So, about the third night in, you continue on your spying. I'm not going to make you roll because you aced it every time with Pass Without Trace and Guidance. It's not even worth making you roll anymore. At least for this point, anyway. You made your way... You had gone through every single caravan except there was one remaining, the one in the front of the caravan. And as you work your way and peel back the tent flaps to look inside that caravan, and you know, your eyes and your dark vision adjust to see inside, and you are greeted by one giant central eye and a large toothed maw beneath it with several chitinous segmented eye stalks off to the side. And as you open it, you immediately shut that, terrified for what you just saw, knowing what everyone had told you. But nothing happens. And it's strange. And as you slowly reopen the curtains, looking in this caravan, you notice a pale white and almost glossy coloration and almost, yeah, I guess coloration to the central eye and each individual eye stalk. There is a dead beholder in the back of this caravan. However, the you feel being there, some of your that close to it, that your magical abilities and your magical your cloak and your other magic items are in this close proximity. Walking near it, no problem. Opening up the flap and being within 5 feet of it, your magic items stop working. The Pass Without Trace on you ends. And yeah, as you're able to shut it and slink back away without being caught, thankfully.
What night was that?
That'll be night 3 of 5.
That's the last.
There's 5 nights, so that'll be like the 3rd night in.
So obviously I went back and I told everybody.
So yeah, we can play that out. So yeah, basically on, I guess we'll say, I don't know, would you tell them that night, wake them up and tell them, or would you wait till like the next day? How would that work?
Was it like very late?
It would have been, yeah, it would have been like early, like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, somewhere in that area.
I think I would Mira would just stay out and watch that caravan all night,
Okay.
and then go report in the morning.
Okay. So in the morning, Mir will gather the remainder, the three of you, kind of, and try to pull you off before, as everybody's getting up and starting to get breakfast and readying the pack animals to continue on the trek. She'll pull you guys all off to the side in a seemingly secluded area, and then she will tell you something.
Yeah, so like really like totally freaked out, like eyes really big. Like, guys, I have to tell you something. It's I don't know. I don't know what I saw last night.
Well,
I was at the first cart in the caravan. I made it all the way up there, and I opened the back, and I saw is a monster with a lot of eyes on it.
And you would know that this was a beholder from all the
That's
conversations
beholder.
that you guys had.
So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's the beholder. But I don't think it's alive. It didn't see me. It didn't move. I think they have a dead beholder in that cart.
well,
What do you guys think about that?
I think it's better than a live beholder, but I also think that it presents a lot of other questions. Why they have that?
Yeah, I have no idea. But all of my items stopped working, and also I lost my I went near it.
Yeah, and you... But, I mean, your items work now. It was just in the presence of it. Like, when you moved away, things started working again. But, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they can still use it.
Interesting.
Is that like a normal thing that happens from Beholder, or no?
Beholder...
Know that?
Yeah, you guys... Having talked about it, you guys would know. Normally, a Beholder's central eye makes a 120-foot-long cone that no magic works within that cone. But, again, that's typically when they're alive and they can look around. This one is dead, but it clearly seems to be much... The range of it is much smaller.
I didn't realize that was a property that they had, that they could still use their anti-magic when they were dead. It's obviously why they're probably carting it around. I wonder if they're gonna bring it back from being dead, though. That's even
That's a
more
question.
concerning.
Or,
If it's just this, we can just use range, but something else.
I mean, if it's dead, then obviously they can control it. It's like that. So it makes me think if they're going to use it for something else.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. That's it.
From what we know, does the Cult of the Dragon typically use necromantic magic?
From what you guys know of the Cult of the Dragon, you know that for a long time, like as long as most people could remember, the Cult of the Dragon was heavily focused on creating Draco Liches. That was like their sole purpose for a long time. It's only recently that there's been a lot of focus on Tiamat and gathering this gold for whatever purpose. That's a new development. That's why so many of the factions, Emerald Enclave, Order of the Gauntlet, Harpers, that's why everybody's like freaking out, because this is typically the Cult of the Dragon also works further east, or southeast, and then further even east than where you guys would normally think of, or where any of you guys have really been. That's where they typically operated, never along the Sword Coast, and the focus has never been on this. This is why it's got everybody's hackles up, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. So.
So it's definitely a possibility that they could resurrect this beholder.
I mean, the
In a
process...
nefarious way.
I mean, I'm gonna say that given the limited knowledge you guys have of the process of creating a Dracolich, you don't know what the process is to make one, but you get the feeling just based on it's a fairly complex thing. Whether or not that would easily translate to the creation of a zombie or some sort of resurrection magic, to do something with this beholder is really, it's really up to whatever you guys interpret it as, because it's kind of hard. You guys just don't know, so it's whatever your characters assume, kind of based on that, I guess.
Well, I mean, if they are gonna bring it back to life, you know, I kind of feel like if we can get there and we can make a distraction or something and cut its eye out while it's dead, that'll make it a lot easier if they bring it back.
Except we're not supposed to do anything now.
I know, but
We're just
Yes.
supposed to gather information.
I'm gonna give Odella inspiration. So you have an instance of inspiration for playing the true version of inspiration, unlike the one that in every game I've ever played in where the DM's like, that was a real funny joke, you can have inspiration. For playing up to your backstory and following through with what your character would do in that given situation, have inspiration.
Yay! She's a harper. She listens to her harper flows.
yes, the opportunity is just so good, though.
Yeah, but we could also unhinge everything everybody has been working for just because we revealed ourselves.
Fine.
Who knows? Maybe they already know about this and they just want to confirm where exactly it is, and so they can gather it later. I don't know. I don't know the plans, but we should do what we were told to do.
Fine. I don't like all the secrets in your guys' organization. I wish they'd just tell everybody what was going on.
Secrets make the world go around.
It's true.
Do they?
Okay. So you guys have that knowledge. How you choose to act on it in the coming weeks and time is up to you guys. So, on the end of the 5th night, so this is before we go to actual live gameplay, I'm going to say, because we wanted to do it on stream, we're going to turn the camera to a conversation held between Odella and Myrrh in their caravan before we roll into the future stuff. And you know, we can say simultaneously Roswin and Lux have their conversation. That way we can, like, explains why everybody's off doing their own thing. And then, so we'll start with Odella and Myrrh's conversation.
Wait, my cat's on my computer. It's overheating. 1 second.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. Oh, I just hear the fan going. "Rrrr."
I could hear it. Yeah, I heard it.
Oh my god. Okay.
So,
Need like a cat blocker.
yeah, right?
I have something on there and she just goes behind it.
So,
Okay, so over this few days, since Mir and Odella sleep together every night, Mir has been
Let's sleep together, guys. Let's keep.
Yeah, you
sleep
sure.
together. Mir has been noticing that in the mornings, Odella sometimes gets up and she'll pray. And she seems to do this very habitually and seems to be for a very good reason. Like, she puts a lot of time into it. So Mir, one of these nights, will just approach her when they're laying in bed and like look over at her. And she's just curious because she felt like when she told Odella about herself that Odella seemed to kind of get it, or like she had some kind of common experience. So she's just wondering, you know, I've seen you praying, I think, and talking, and you know, I'm wondering what is it that why do you do that?
Why do I pray?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anybody that you pray to?
Well, not really.
Well, I suppose it's just makes me feel like there's somebody listening. Kind of an old habit from when I was younger as well, but that was kind of forced on me. But different gods, it's a whole thing. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I hope I'm not prying. I feel like, you know, a little bit about what it's like to suffer and to go through things. I wonder if that's what you do to help yourself after what you've been through.
Sometimes. I mean, you told us about what happened to you. I guess I could tell you a little bit about what happened to me. When I was younger, I was taken from my family and by a temple, and because I had magic, and kind of forced into their weird idea that I was going to somehow save them with my magic. And well, I just, needless to say, I don't pray to that god anymore. But after I freed myself, I found myself missing that routine, and I found another. And I take out the little holy symbol that I've kind of kept hidden, and I believe it's 3 stars that are all different colors.
Yep.
One's red, and one's orange, and one's yellow. And I don't know how to pronounce the name of my god, so... Lyra?
Yeah, Lyra.
Okay. So I kind of pull it out, and I'm like, I pray to Lyra. She's the goddess of freedom and joy and happiness, and I just think that's appropriate. I found my freedom, and perhaps maybe she had a hand in it, and now I give thanks every morning.
And so she's like all touched because she was stolen as a child, well, from the streets, but she was kept captive, and it was miserable. And so she understands a little bit of what she's talking about. And so she asks her, "It's okay with you, but do you think that I could also pray with you to this god of freedom?"
Of course. I feel like she would be very excited to welcome you into her fold.
Hey.
Also, another way to pray is just have a good time at parties. That's what she likes. So, she's not as stuffy as some of those other guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right. So yeah. Okay. So that conversation is happening in one place, and let's say that Roswin and Lux are just so happen to crazy random happenstancely be having a conversation at that time too, because it fits the story. So, okay, why don't we jump in and let you guys have your conversation, if that's okay. If you guys want to, I don't want to pressure you into having a conversation.
So Roswin runs up to her, I'd say pretty soon after the whole stag thing. And she's like, "Psst, Lex," and tries to be all stealthy even though she's shit at it. And like, kind of like usher her into the caravan.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay. Hey, how are you? You look great. You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. Are you?
Yeah, I'm great. I think maybe. So the other night, I was trying to go to sleep, but I was having some troubles, and you know that gold stag that everyone had been seeing and everybody wanted to hunt and capture?
Yes.
Well, I looked up when I opened my eyes, and he was just standing there, and he beckoned me to come follow him. And I probably should have used the buddy system, but I didn't. So I just went, and obviously everything's okay. But yeah, he spoke to me.
How did he?
Sorry. And he told me this really weird thing, and you're like super wise and knowledgeable, so I just wanted to tell you in case, I don't know, maybe you knew what it was all about. But he said to follow the river of gold until you reach the castle in the sky. And then he said, not all will survive. So, like, first part, great. I'm all about that. That sounds really fancy. Second part, that's a little scary. I don't like that one bit. But I told him that because, you know, I'm very open about things. And he, like, knocked his head against this tree and one of his antlers fell off. And it became this cuff thing that I could change into a bow. And he said, maybe this will help my friends protect themselves. So, you know, I was like, bows, who does bows? And I was like, Myr does bows. So I went and found her in Odella's tent. I knocked first, don't worry, that could have been really awkward. But I gave her that because I thought she'd be best suited. And I don't know. What do you even do with that when a giant golden magical stag is just like, hey, come talk to me? I mean, I said yeah, but like, and he's speaking in riddles. And that's some stuff right there. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking. Thoughts?
Well, creatures like that, they could be anything or anyone.
I don't know. I mean, and why would it want to talk to me? I mean, my first thought is maybe it's like a fae thing because that's where I get my power from. But
Could be.
I don't
Could
know.
be because you're also a druid.
Yeah.
But even creatures like that, sometimes they sense things. They help out.
Well, I mean, he seemed like a top lad, that one. I mean, that's...
Would I know anything like that? About
About the golden stag and anything.
Yeah. Anything from my knowledge?
No, it's not like a, I guess I wouldn't say it's like a broad, like a commonplace thing. Like this seems like a fairly targeted, specific situation. I mean, you would know that, you know, sometimes powerful, well, you would just know in general, and I mean, most people know, like, typically high, powerful creatures, gods or whatever, have the ability to take on alternate forms. So this could have been anything. But, you know, also typically powerful things in general never give you a straight answer and like to speak in riddles. So it could be really anything. And, you know, I mean, a stag is kind of a fayish symbol, so it would be, you know, unless there's a heavy deception going on and something's trying to pass itself off as a fae, but for the most part, that would be your natural inclination, would to think some sort of fairy or fae type creature.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, the one thing is everything happens for reasons. And apparently somebody's watching out.
well, I guess that's comforting, but just think on that riddle for me, because like I'm more so like a read a book and make flashcards kind of girl, but like riddles, not for me, not my cup of tea.
Yeah. Well, you said follow the river of gold until you reach the castle in the sky. Not all will survive. At this point, especially with the last sentence, you would see Lux kind of look concerned, but also knowledge, like she knows something. What, you know, that's up to her, but I will definitely think on this.
Okay, well, thanks. It's good to get off my chest. I don't want to tell everybody because people keep telling me I'm crazy, Roswin. I'm not crazy.
Who keeps
Okay.
telling you you're crazy?
People are like, oh, that's crazy, Roswin. And I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm just living my life.
At this point, I actually put my hand on her shoulder. You're not crazy.
Well, thanks. You're not crazy either. You're super cool, actually.
Well, thank you.
Yep. And she gives her a big hug instead of putting her hand on her shoulder because Rosalind's a hugger.
Yeah, I would hug her back.
Alright. Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that covers everybody for 5 days. Cool. So, at the end, because I lost the rolls from before, I need... Thank you, RC, for the host. Couple of things. I need Odella, Lux, and Mare to roll me a percentile each, please.
Oh, yeah, I donated stuff.
Yes, you did.
So, hold on one second.
Well, they do that. Calamity, to your point, when I say like a bro, part of the things about Oath of the Ancients is they're all about being the light and having a good time, and you can't teach other people how to be, like, how to live that life and enjoy everything unless you experience it yourself. So one of my Oath of the Ancients paladins was just like, hey man, like, I love everything. And I like to party and go out and have fun. And if you're like a chill bro and I'm a chill bro, we are bros. I like you. We get along. And that was his whole thing. He was very down to earth and hippie-ish, to answer your question without typing it all out. All right, Roswin, you have a crit as well. So everybody across the board has a crit. So we'll leave it at that. Calamity, yes, I will PM you after this, because that'll make it easier. We got a class trinket across the board. So Katie, I need one from you too. Okay, so let's look up what happens, because trinkets. So Light, you rolled first. Okay. Alright. Light, yours is really good, but I'm not going to give it to you immediately because what it is something that I can use in the next little bit as a cool plot point. So I'm going to just write it down. Because it's less of a physical object and more of like a cool thing that happens.
Ooh, more thingies.
Yes. Cool. Okay, let's see. Liz got a 32. 32. Okay. These are so stupid, but I love them because they're so all over the place. Question. Katie, you made strawberry-based pie before, correct? Mixed
I made a mixed berry pie.
and we're gonna say that it had strawberries in it?
Yeah.
Okay, because that makes this trinket not possible. Where she has the only shipment of strawberries in all of the realms. So we can't have that happen.
Wow, what a trinket.
Yeah, the princess's shipment of strawberries, no less.
Oh.
So like the grand
Yes.
sweet
That
So-
would be horrible because at some point they'd start to go bad and you just be like, I guess everybody eat them?
Yes. Alright, so you, Mir, have a candle, which the candle is made of black wax, that when lit, the vapors, as they emanate off into the sky, in the vapor, it produces a vision. A vision of a furious eye of flame.
Oh.
A great, lidless eye of flame. So...
In the sky?
in the when you light the candle and the smoke comes up, like in the smoke, like coming off of the candle itself, is a lidless eye wreathed in flames. So I will let you take that down. Odella, 35. This is also the reason why going through the caravan takes so long, because things like this happen. But I love it, so it's okay. 35. Why? Okay, I gotta get you.
Is it another crit thing?
No, it's not. It's not. Oh. What are your thoughts on snakes and your thoughts on birds?
Like Odella's thoughts on
Yes.
snakes and birds? Well, obviously she has Pygot, so snakes don't really bother her because he's kind of sneaky.
Yeah, but he's dragony too.
Yeah, but like he's a little guy.
Fair.
Like a sneaky snake. And birds are fine.
Okay. All right. So, you, as you opened up to Mir and kind of expressed and started to alleviate some of these secrets, things that you've kept close to the vest for most of your life, things you haven't really told anybody. And as you stated before, that's okay. It's okay to have secrets. The Harpers are a secretive group, of which you are a prominent member, up and coming in the ranks. So, the next morning, when you awake, you feel as though that guilt, and not really guilt, but that just things that were weighing down on your conscience have alleviated themselves from you. And as they do, and you kind of feel this happen, they coalesce into a form about your head. This weight lifted coalesces into the form of an illusory phoenix that orbits your head.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, we're gonna say it's not like a full-size phoenix, because then it's just like, here I am, everybody.
Wait, no,
Like a-
our
like a
bard is back?
No, not a elf orbiting your head. It actually
Dancing around.
it says it orbits you, so I'll let you. It doesn't have to be around your head. An illusory phoenix that orbits you.
I can almost see it as like a halo,
Yeah, basically.
like a crown. Yeah, it's like a small little phoenix bird just kind of going around in a circle.
It-
No, do it around your boobies.
Around my booty. That's what.
Whatever you want. Up to you.
Around the head works. I'm gonna get so many weird looks from people though. Like, can I like
hold on.
douse it every once in a while?
Is
Or
it like a
something only I
smoky
can
guilt
Oh.
phoenix? Or is it pretty?
No, it'll be a celestial, like, happy-looking phoenix in that she lifted and expressed these issues, and that was seemingly gifted / granted to you as like a good job, and now you have this, and I'm gonna say that you have the ability to suppress it so that it's not always there, but you can call it forth. Yeah, as like a free action, you can summon it forth, but also, suppress it so it doesn't have its presence known.
Yeah, because I feel like sneaking around with that would just be like, hey, look at this thing on my head flying around there. Cool, I like it. It's better
Cool.
than some of the other ones that I've gotten.
All right, and Roswin, the really bad dream that plagued you for most of your recent life, of the world being destroyed in clashes of a blizzard and poisonous fumes and acid and all of those things. You are, let's see, let me think about who would be the person. Who do we like? We like Sam, and we like Farida.
What about that guy that's really happy all the time?
Sam, that's Sam the
That's
Hoper.
Sam the Hopeful.
Sam the Hoper gives you one of these nights. He gives you, because he just tells you that you look happy, and he feels like this will help make things go better, because somebody told me, and I got one of these from a far off land, and I'm just always so happy that I don't think I need it, and you seem happy too, so I want to help give. Giving gifts makes me happy, and he gifts you this strange wooden hoop that has intertwined within the hoop strings in various intertwining.
Dreamcatcher?
Yes, but you don't know what they are, so I was trying to be coy, but yes, a dream catcher. But when you go to...
describe it so well.
Yeah,
I just know.
thanks.
It was instant.
Thanks. But that night, when you sleep, this dream catcher gifted to you by Sam the Hoper, it has trapped that nightmare of the world being destroyed by all of in those 5 different calamities. This dream catcher now, you no longer have this dream, as it is contained within the dream catcher given to you by Sam.
That's so nice. I druid craft him a flower crown.
He loves it. Because the trinket was a dream catcher was trapped a particularly bad nightmare. So,
Whew.
there you go. Again, I will throw this out there to the folks in the stream. Make sure you check out our giveaway, and you guys, if you so choose, can purchase magic item table rolls for the ladies if you wish. So, that gets rid of all the trinkets and all that stuff. So now we can start the game. An hour.
Are you sure?
Probably not. Like, it's probably not. Something else has come up, so we'll see. Okay.
Oh, actually, I wanted to also.
Yeah. So, you guys, on the start of the 6th day, you're traveling through, if you look on your map, you are coming into the area known as Dragonspear, is the map that you're traveling through. And Dragonspear is this massive castle. It's a fort, I guess castle, fortress. and I'll just skip the history checks, but basically this was built about 230 years prior to the current date by a half-dwarf, which is something most of you have never even seen and or heard of. It's not a commonplace thing. And by Darrow's Dragonspear was the person who built this, hence the name of the castle. And this castle has had a fairly turbulent history, in that there was portals created into it that set it into. It was then taken over by hobgoblins. Armies set out to clear it and tried to build a Temple of Tempest, the god of battle there. Then the Zentarum opened up more portals, and the castle was controlled by devils. And then it was claimed by a lich. And then there was dragons, and it's like a whole crazy, turbulent history. And now it is primarily wreathed in mostly mists. And it is supposedly held by a creature just called Born. And he's an undead of some kind. Not too many people. He's very powerful. People don't know too much about him. But he supposedly commands an army of the undead.
Let's
Wait,
not go
what?
there.
Like right now?
What? Oh yeah, he's supposedly. I mean, you're not fighting an army of undead. This is just things you know about this area that you're passing through.
There's just a.
There's not an army. There's not one.
Okay.
There's not one that you see, but as history tells it, this great undead leader has apparently an army of undead at his disposal somewhere in this castle that you guys just like cautiously ride by, and you go past it and nothing happens.
Wait, what was that riddle you had again, Katie?
It was follow the river of gold until you reach the castle in the sky. Not all will survive.
Okay, I feel like we should be careful, guys.
So yeah, you guys pass by that. It's a little eerie. People are a little on edge, especially the older folks who are a little more versed in the history. But we'll say you guys are too, so that because I just told you. And yeah, you guys make it past no problem. And again, another couple days go by. Anything specific? If not, we'll just keep going.
Nothing really. I mean, more herbs, but we can do that later.
Sure. Fair. Okay. And again, if you guys are keeping an eye, nothing wonky about the Cult of the Dragon. Like, they're not like, there's nothing to be like, oh, yep, that's definitely probably a Beholder-based event happening right now. We gotta just, things continue as usual. For another 4 days. At which point, on the dawning of the third day, once again, thunderstorms begin again. And it downpours, and there is thunder and lightning, but it's more far off, but it's torrential. Like, it's raining in sheets. Like, to the point where even in the covered part of your caravans, it's still hard to stay dry. Like, if you, like, step out into it, it's one of those where, like, your clothes is just stuck to you because you're just soaking wet. And it's just the worst. Like, it is, there's no better way to describe it. Like,
Bella is missing her bed so much right now. She's like, I don't go anywhere. This is terrible. Like, I just want to be back in, like, a nice hotel. And I don't know what I'm doing.
Rosalind gives her scarf that keeps you warm, but it's like, it's okay.
it keeps you warm. So you're not wet and cold to the bone, but you're still wet. You're just
And then
warm.
my other scarf is just blowing in the wind.
Yes.
Like a mess.
So you're warm, where everybody else is like, you know, again, it's not like the winter time, so it's not like you guys are at risk of exposure or hypothermia, but you are chilly. Like, you can't, and it's one of those chills where, like, you just can't get warm. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying, you're not sick and you're not freezing. Odella, you are now warm, but just wet. And, like, Mir, it's the worst, because you're a cat and you're covered in fur, and now it's just pouring on you. And this is a whole day of this, right? That's true. Like, if you rage for a minute, you roil off heat, and then you get wet again. This
a threesome now.
Does Roswin feel left out now? I'm so confused.
Roslyn wants them to be happy, and if they want to add another person to the party, have fun. But she's gonna stay outside the tent.
So this continues, like, on this, what did I say, it was 4 days. The third day, from, like, the moment you wake up is when the rain starts. So you are soaking wet. People can't even really keep fires going because it's so, all the wood and everything around is so damp. And then the next day again, it hasn't let up. It is still sloggy. Your clothes are, like, sticking to you. You're like, you go to pull off a cloak and it's like, and you're like, it's just, and it's the end of that fourth day. And as if gifted by some form of divine intervention, you come across a bend in the road to an inn. On the side, a sizable inn along the road. And you see, we're going to call it the Dragonfly Inn. And you guys, the caravan all pulls up, and you can just see relief on everybody's face as you pull in to this inn for the night. Or at the end of your travel, it just so happens they coincide. So, what would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's not even a question.
Yeah.
Are there stables to put the horses away?
There are some stables. There are horses in them, but you would know that, like, typically, if you're going to pay for a room, you'd also pay for usage of the stables. So, like, it's just putting your horses up in there is not like a, you can't just go do that. Like, you'd have to have a conversation with, the innkeeper, typically.
Odella will handle the finances. She has all my money.
So
assume that I can look and see that not everybody's going to fit in
there is
the stable.
the inn is pretty sizable. It is a very big inn. Like, you would, because I'm not going to deal with specifics, that yes, pretty much the entire caravan of people that would want to would be able to get rooms at said inn. Stabling may be a bit difficult, but there is a fairly vast size stable here.
I'll hold the spot in line to put our horses away, so once you get our room keys or whatever, then I'm just gonna shove my way in there.
Okay.
So you, I guess, would head inside?
And I instantly prestidigitate myself so I'm not fucking wet anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we swearing at this?
Yeah, we can swear. We're all adults here. Don't worry. So, you head inside. To this inn, and let's see. It is. You come into a comfortable common room. Let's see here.
And there's like a big sigh of relief when she steps inside and like gets dry, and she's like, like just whimsy immediately. Like, thank you.
So let's see. So yeah, it is warm. It's inviting. And you see, there's like a front counter where there's an innkeeper behind it, and there is a table off in the corner with there's a group of 4 sitting around at the table in a corner having a conversation. So what do you do?
I want to speak to whoever looks like they're in charge.
Yeah, the innkeeper is behind the counter, so.
Okay, I'll go up to the innkeeper.
Mm-hmm. And he said
hello.
he seems a little shy, we'll say.
Shy?
And he says, human,
Sex?
male human in his 40s. Like
Yeah.
like your typical tavern keeper. He's a little more burly. Not like a skinny guy. Doesn't look like he should be too timid, but yeah.
Got a ring on his finger?
No.
Okay. I'll just go up to him and say hello first.
And he says, hello.
Suppose you know what I'm here for. Just looking for your rates for rooms and maybe some horses. Stable for the horses.
And he says,
Assume that a lot of people have just come through here.
and he looks at you and he says, and he kind of like is wringing his hands and he's like, I'm sorry, I don't have any rooms. All of the rooms and the common room has been reserved for a private party.
Who is this private party?
And he says, so unfortunately you guys are going to have to stay outside. He's like, it's not really my place to say, but they have rented this out and paid handsomely to have the entire inn all to themselves. And as this is happening, you hear a snicker from the group of 4 playing cards at the table in the corner.
Do I recognize them or no?
No, but they're looking at, they kind of, when you look over, you see them kind of like wave, and one of them goes, "Sleep tight," and then they just keep laughing and drinking and going back
So
to
they're
playing
not
their
like
cards.
a caravan.
No, they were here at the place. And another one's like, "Yeah, have a pleasant evening," and they continue to play cards.
Are they all dudes?
Uh-huh. And they're kind of, you hear them like muttering stuff under their breath. Make me a perception check.
Okay. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button.
That's okay.
Woof!
You don't hear a word they say, but they snort. It seems like a derisive snort as they kind of continue to drink heavily from large tankards and continue to play cards. They do seem fancier dressed, I will say. These 4.
Before I deal with that, I'm going to look back at the innkeeper and say, did they rent out the entire stables as well?
And at this point, one of them stands up and goes, "Our horses are rather picky about who they share space with. You understand, I'm sure. So, again, have a pleasant evening."
Okay, well, I'll walk over there and be like, I'm sorry, I don't believe I got your name.
And he says, I didn't give it.
Oh. Just curious as to, you must be very lordly folk to be able to afford such a wonderful inn. I'm just curious who you are.
Let's see what other information we have about these guys. And they say, "Well, our names aren't important, but as the innkeeper I'm sure has told you, our coin is. So, unfortunately, The inn is ours for the evening, as are the stables, and we are quite busy and need all of this space for ourselves. So sorry to say that we don't have any rooms available. And then one of them, as they're sitting there and they're chuckling and laughing over, and one of the guys at the table, kind of like they're chuckling. He's got his feet up on the table and he like is sipping from his tankard. And he goes, gentlemen, please. And he's like trying to get all the guys, and the guys all kind of look at him, and he's like, well, I'm sure my room would have plenty of space for you, if you'd be interested. And he throws you a wink.
Really?
Oh, yes.
There's enough room for me in that room.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you seem like you've had a rough travel. And he kind of looks, you see them looking up and down at the mud-spattered robes and thing that you're wearing. And he says, well, I'm sure we could work.
Not mud-spattered at all.
Oh, you're not. You're right. You're clean now. You're right. You are clean now. That's true. I forgot. And he says,
I look damn fine.
And he says, well, I'm sure we could find something to do in exchange for a nice warm bed and an evening out of the rain.
What does he look like? Is he have any weapons on him that I can see?
Make me a perception check, I guess. Oh, Katie, you have a second crit, by the way.
Yay! And I still had one left over too. That's 3.
Yes. 15.
Yeah.
He seems like a fancy lordly guy. And Lux, you also have another crit.
Oh, cool. Cute.
So, yeah, he seems like he's wearing fanciful clothes, and, you see all the other guys are like, when he's like, there's plenty of room. I mean, maybe I don't want to be, let me elaborate, I don't want to be vague. I'm sure there's plenty of room in my bed for you.
Well, I got you the first time. Hold on, I'm reading something.
Okay. Good old Jake, spending them flinty bees.
Does he look tough?
I guess give me an insight check.
Just making sure I don't get myself accidentally killed here. I mean, just be bad.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to read. His clothes betray someone of lordly intent, similar to some of the other, I'll call them dandier folk that you've been in, traveling with. But, the clothes don't always make the man.
Okay.
Woo! Soren Draco Knight followed. So thank you.
Oh,
We got lots of follows, guys. We appreciate it. Lots of cool stuff you can do with Flinty Bees. And also make sure you join our contest and hang around for the break to possibly win something from us during the stream. Anyway.
Okay, So I'm gonna turn to the guy and be like, oh, "Why don't you show me that room right now?"
Okay. And then, like, all of his buddies are like, ah! And yeah, he says, well, gentlemen, and he takes his drink and he downs the rest of his flagon and he slams it on the table and he says, I'll see you gents later. And he walks you off to his room. Upstairs and at...
real
yeah.
Quick.
Uh-huh.
Does my, like, thing with Pygot go both ways? Can I, like, show him stuff to tell him to do stuff, or do I have to...
Yeah, it only works. He can only impart things to you.
Okay, I'm gonna follow just slightly behind the person and tell Pygot to go get... I'll say Roswin.
Okay, but I'm just gonna throw this out there as a point. Like, you're in an inn, and you're gonna send a pseudo-dragon flying through the inn, past 3 other dudes and another dude, and out the front door. Like, it's a dead, empty inn, there's only a couple of people, and you're sending a flying serpent.
Really only those 4 people?
That's it.
That's all?
Yeah, those
okay,
4, yeah. That's just them.
Never mind.
Which is
I'll
all...
take care of this myself.
Which makes it all the more asshole-ish that only 4 people purchased the entire inn.
Yeah, we'll just deal with them one by one.
Okay, alright. Fair. So he leads you upstairs, and again, you go up a set of stairs, and there is a long corridor with doors left and right, and he takes you to the first door on the right, let's say, and opens the door, and you see as the door opens, there's some candles lit, and there's a nice, warm, cushy bed, and in a nice, cozy room. No window.
Okay.
And he ushers you into the room and shuts the door behind you. And he says, well, I'm glad you saw things my way. And walks over to the bed and sits down and pats next to it.
I won't sit on the bed. It looks like there's like dressers or something in the picture. Is that true too?
Yeah,
Like,
sure. I mean, this is just a random thing I found, so... Yeah.
okay. I'm gonna go like lean against one of the dressers or like, I don't know, wall or whatever. I'm not gonna sit on the bed though, and I'm gonna be like, what? No, you're not gonna show me anything before? It's just straight to business?
And he goes, well, I was hoping someone wearing such fine clothes and seemingly and so beautiful would clearly grace me with a dance.
I think you should dance first.
And he says, you're asking an awful lot for someone that's coming into my room out of the rain. I mean, I thought this arrangement was fairly well determined. And he just kind of like leans back on the bed, like one foot still on the floor, one foot kind of up, and he's kind of just like leaning up against the headboard, and he just kind of sits there expectantly.
Okay. All business then. And then I will start dancing.
Okay.
And then start trying to undo any armor that I might see on him.
Okay. Sure. So So make me a
And
performance
kind of
check.
Take that off as I dance around him.
We'll see. Make me a performance check. Alright, it's a fairly decent dance.
And like, honestly, I mean, he has to take it off if he wants to do anything, so...
Yeah, well, you see as, like, he's smiling and, like, is seemingly into it, although he was expecting more of a striptease, less of a you taking his clothes. You get as you, like, start to take the noble, like, poofy shirt off and the cloak, and start slowly taking. And you see there's some reservation there as you start to take more and more clothes off, and he goes, as you see a handful of the garments you've tossed off and are on the floor, and he goes, my dear, I believe it's your turn.
I am going to kind of put a hand on him.
Mm-hmm.
I will shocking grasp him. Hopefully that takes him out.
All right, go ahead and make me an attack roll with your shocking grasp.
I mean, in a naked fight, I feel like Odella would still be the same because she doesn't actually have armor on anyway.
Fair.
Okay. Do I still have to roll to touch him if I'm already touching him?
That's 5th edition, so yes.
Boo!
Yeah, that's why there's no touch AC like there used to be, where you just have to touch him. That's like how a character can be unconscious on the ground, and you can attack them and still miss. What were you going to say?
I'm just reading, sorry. I need to make sure that I use all my stuff, otherwise I'm going to get murdered. Okay.
Yes. Okay, a 17. Yeah, a 17 will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage. 8 lightning damage. Okay. And you see a look of quite literal and figurative, actually that's just 100% literal, shock on his face as you hit him with this shocking grasp. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay. And if he doesn't go down, I'm going to back up since I should be able to get away without a reaction.
Correct. He does not go down.
I don't have a token, so...
That's okay.
Guy 7.
We're gonna do the bad guy here.
I mean, he may not be a bad guy, he's just a skis ball guy, so...
What's your dexterity?
It's 14, so plus 2.
Okay, so you are... I'm not gonna bother switching... Okay. I'll stop it, I guess. Because you were not on mute when you can't stop it, just so you're aware.
I am.
You're not.
On mute.
We all heard it.
No,
Real loud.
you heard that.
Now you are, but you weren't then.
Sorry, my cats are out of line. No,
No, now you're muted.
Now you're muted.
I checked. Or I screamed. Sorry.
Well, you did, but it didn't.
Voice. Alright, I'll be quiet.
It's all good. So I'm just gonna keep. So you actually are going first. So you've backed up.
Yay. Okay, how does he look?
Perfectly fine.
He looks perfectly fine. Crap. Okay.
He's still on the bed because, you backed up and then you got the drop on him.
Yeah. Okay, I am going to... I don't want to kill him. Everything that I do kills him. Crap. I'm going to murder somebody. Let's see here. You know what? I'm going to use my staff to cast mage armor on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm going to quicken spell.
Mm-hmm.
Do a good old guiding bolt on him.
Okay. So you have quickens. Oh, use the staff to mage armor. Okay, sure. So go ahead and make me an attack roll with guiding bolt.
Can I use my crit on this?
Before, as long as
you know what, I don't think that.
I was gonna say, as long
that's
as
gonna be too much.
as long as you do it before you roll, yes. So if you want to, you can. If not, go ahead.
I don't want to kill this dude.
All right.
Kill him. He's the worst.
It's up to you.
Then we're murderers. Okay, let's hear. You know what?
Nope. Tell me.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use my crit on this.
Okay. So go ahead and just roll me 8d6 radiant damage. Okay, so you back up, and how does your guiding bolt look? I forget.
It's white light, and it's like very ethereal looking. It's has some like celestial running through it as well.
So you blast out this guy. He takes it right in the chest, and he's like thrown back, obviously, by this, doing a ton of damage to him. However, he's also shocked. I need you to roll me 2d6. I think is what it is, right? For your trinket. Your one trinket.
Yeah.
So he's shocked to see your undergarments teleport off 10 feet.
There are none.
There are none. So then
Out there.
So no bra, no under. So that's fine. So that doesn't happen. But he's shocked to see the rain of 7 chocolate coins rain from the sky on the ground around you. As you hit him with this, and he's like, and he gets up off the bed and he goes, well, that was unexpected. And as he does, the blast from the guiding bolt tears away the remainder of the noble clothes, revealing armor underneath.
God dang it.
And he reaches under the bed, and with his stands up, reaches under the bed with his right hand, pulls up a long sword, and draws from now underneath what was the other clothes a short sword, and approaches on you, and he's going to make some attacks against you. So he swings once with his long sword for a 13. 13 hit?
Oh, nope. I got mage armor on, so.
Alright. Swings again with
Let me look that up to make sure that I
Sure.
I was like, I don't have the spell here. What is it? 13 plus dex. Okay. So, 16?
Okay, so he misses with that. And then I'm going to use one of my fate dice that I haven't used yet for his third attack with his short sword, which is an 18.
Yeah, that hits.
And then he's going to deal...
But I'm
8.
going to shield it, actually.
Okay, so then it doesn't hit. So, okay, that is his turn. It is now your turn. And he's right up on top of you.
Okay, sorry, I'm just counting charges for the
Sure.
thing. Okay, he's right up on me.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to... Can't do 2 spells in a round, right?
Correct. A cantrip and a spell if you quicken.
Well, I have spells that are bonus spells, so I just wanted to...
Like what?
Like Misty Step.
Misty Step would be a bonus action, and then you could cast a cantrip. That would be it.
Okay. I am going to...
I will remind you that for Misty Step, you need to be able to see where you're going. So the door was shut behind you. So.
I can still get around the room, though, right?
You can get around in the room, yeah. You can't get out of the room, but you can get around within the room itself. But the room is... I'll say that... I'll tell you it's probably not worth using Misty Step. The room's not huge. Like...
Oh, okay.
So.
Does he still seem pretty good?
He seems hurting, but he doesn't seem as bad as you would have thought he would have been after one shocking grasp. Let's leave it at that.
And like 30 points of
Yeah.
radiant damage.
Yeah, he's still hanging in there.
Okay. Then I am going to use my Wand of Magic Missiles
Okay. That will hit.
and I'll use 3 charges out of there.
Okay. So that is 3 charges, upcasts it to 3rd level, so that is 5d4 plus 5. So you can just, I guess, cast Magic Missile or however you want to, or roll the damage either way. Out from the wand, little darts of force hit into the guy, and it's like, and he's getting knocked back, and he's like, and he's hurting now, and he rushes, or he's right next to you, I guess, so it doesn't matter. So he brings his swords to bear, and I'm going to use another fate die for advantage on an attack with his...
Wait, I still have a bonus action.
Oh, you're right, you still do. I'm sorry.
Okay, and then bonus action, I'm going to quicken spell again.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to use Toll the Dead.
Okay, so that is a wisdom saving throw, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm rolling it for you. Oh,
Okay.
It should say in there, but it didn't. Okay.
It's not an attack, though. It's a saving throw, if I recall. So that
Yeah.
would...
I don't know why when it came up as an attack, but yeah, it's a wisdom saving throw.
Got it. I'm gonna go on a limb and guess that he fails. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Wow, that's really wrong.
No, that's right. That's 2d12. You just rolled a 3 and a 2.
No, I mean the charisma save and stuff. It's just...
Well, either... yeah, you gotta fix it. Either way, he failed the wisdom save, because he got a 4. So he takes the 5 necrotic damage, and he is, he's down on, both knees, and he's, and, sword to, keep himself up. And he's breathing heavy, and he stands up, and, he's wobbly. It seems like the weight of his armor and the weight of his weapons is almost enough that this guy's gonna keel over. And you see, his vision's kind of, hazy. And then as someone who's been well-trained in battle, his vision clarifies. And he comes in, and I'm gonna use a fate die, with his longsword.
I'm also gonna take Katie's advice and make noises.
Well, I used a fate die to roll a 20, so the 1 doesn't matter, but I didn't need to use it, but I did. So he rolls a natural 20. So he's gonna deal with his first swing 14 points of slashing damage with his first swing. Then he's gonna swing again with his longsword for not good, a 7. So then he's gonna miss. And I'm gonna use my last fate die on his short sword. attack.
So far I've only gotten hit for 14, right?
Correct. And then an 18?
I'm gonna use shield again.
Okay. So then he misses. And that is his turn.
Okay. So he looks pretty bad, right?
Yes.
Like pretty bad, or?
He looks pretty bad.
Okay, I'm going to boop him with my staff first.
Okay, go ahead and boop.
What happened? I put my staff on here. Why is everything screwed up on?
Maybe it's the same thing that Katie was talking about, that it got all wonky.
Yeah, because I put my staff in here and there's no staff anymore, so,
There's a bird flying around in the tavern, apparently. A 14. Boom! Against the armor.
Okay, I'm gonna use...
Oh, wait, that was just your roll.
Yeah, that's just a rule.
That didn't include your
well, I don't
strength.
have strength.
I was gonna say your strength mod. And your proficiency bonus.
Oh, so plus 3, so 17.
You look like you're going to hit him, and he brings his sword across in a parry and parries
Well,
away.
I'm gonna use my
that.
favored by the gods.
Sure.
So 22 to hit.
Yep. Let's just see. Okay, yeah, so that hits.
Does anybody know how much a staff does damage?
A D6 one-handed, D8 two-handed.
Well, I feel like she'd be two-handing it right now.
Sure. Then a D8 plus your strength mod, which is a 0, so D8. And yeah, you clobber this guy on the snoot with your staff, and he falls and hits the ground.
Okay.
Unconscious. Or bleeding out, I guess. Dead. Dead. He would be dead.
He's not dead!
You didn't well...
I
wait.
said multiple times.
Okay, then he is unconscious, then. Well, you can't not kill somebody with magic, but you didn't use magic,
Well, that's
so...
what I said. I booped him on the
That's
side.
fair, so he's unconscious on the ground.
Okay, I'm going to... Okay, quick question. I
Yes.
would know this, but I don't know this as a player. Does Spare the Dying wake them up, or does it just stabilize
It just
them?
stabilizes them.
Okay, so he'll still be unconscious, it just...
He won't bleed out.
He won't be dying. Yeah, okay,
Correct.
I'm gonna Spare the Dying on him, and then
Okay.
tie him up.
Okay. So, you cast Spare the Dying on him, and you tie him up. And... yeah. So, now what?
Okay, how long has it been?
Between the dancing, the fighting, the tying up, say 10 minutes. Total for everything.
Okay, that's long enough.
Be a good time.
Yeah,
Damn.
I'm gonna kind of dishevel myself more than I probably am from just being fighting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to go downstairs
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like straighten myself out to kind of look like, you know, things happened. And I'm gonna kind of wink at the guys and be like, he's sleeping it off. I'm gonna go get some of my things.
Okay. And they say... and they all go, well... the one guy goes, well, if he wasn't enough man for you, sweetie, I'm sure I am. And he throws you a wink.
I'll wink back, but I'm still gonna walk out.
Okay. So you walk out the door. And I mean, 10 minutes happened in the room. There was a little bit, we'll say like another 10 minutes while you were, talking and figuring all that out. So Odella has been inside, for the rest of you outside, for 20 minutes. And now she comes back outside, looking disheveled. Sort of straightened, but still disheveled, I guess.
I'll straighten myself the rest of the way out.
Gotcha, okay.
And I'm going to also very quickly cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
Odella, did you get us a room?
I'm gonna kind of pull them to the side and be like, so here's the deal. I'd be like, these 4 guys rented out the entire place, and they're kind of dickwads. I dealt with 1. There's still 3 more, but they seem to be real horny. I don't know what you guys want to do with that, but 1 is currently passed out in a room. And by passed out, I mean I pretty much took him down. I will say that when I tied him up, I put a gag in him too. I'm just gonna
Okay,
put that
sure.
out there.
Yep.
Huh.
You do hear Lux chuckling.
Lux, show him your thigh. And the thigh, like the sex thing, and then you'll just like get them good. You know, the thing you do.
Oh, the thing I do?
Yeah, 'cause they sound super rude, and like they are objectifying people, and that's not okay.
Okay.
I can come too, but I mean, I'm not really most people's cup of tea, if you know what I'm saying.
Remember, you don't look like a tiefling right now.
Yeah, but I do look like a crazy.
Yes, you look like a crazy.
On my head.
You look like a crazy person. But yes.
Crazy Roswin.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you never know, they might be into that.
Yeah, everyone, don't kink shame.
Doesn't really sound like something Roswin would say, but fair.
I don't. Or she doesn't, but. I
It's
mean,
up to you guys what you want to do, but I say that we teach these boys a lesson.
I'm kind of with you. I don't really have too many discreet spells. Is the thing.
Just a big boom of moonlight just shines.
Yeah. Yep.
Incinerating things.
So I mean, if we could get them all in one space, like I can do something, and I can do fairy fire on them too.
Unless we take them one by one.
Oh man, I just got a crit. Thank you, Jake.
God, Jake.
Rude.
Mira just pulls her daggers out and wipes them on her coat. She's like, "Can I cut him?"
I mean, let's not kill anybody, but
Well, you said there's 3 more, so why don't you guys just go, and then when I'll come in when you guys go upstairs, for backup.
how about you back me up?
You don't want more to? I mean, I thought you guys know where to duo.
Mercy handles herself. I think you and me probably.
Okay,
What do you
well,
think we're gonna do?
Okay, Lux has another crit.
Woohoo! Thank you.
okay, I can help. You do the talking though, because I think I'll just throw up if I try to flirt.
That's more than fine.
Nope. Mare has another crit. 2 crits. 2 for Lux, 2 for Mare, 3 for Roswin, I think, at this point. And 1.
3.
Oh, you have a total of 3? Okay.
Oh man, I should have picked up my chocolate coins.
Yeah, you left them there.
You can still pick them up.
Get them later.
Oh, it's happening.
We'll have chocolate coins afterwards.
It's happening whether you want it to or not.
Uh-huh. Alright, so,
We ready? We go back inside. We're gonna take them one by one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, Myrrh, Lux, you're good with dealing with one on your own?
Oh, yeah. And I wink.
Okay.
I'm gonna warn you guys, these guys have armor underneath their clothes, it seems like, so just be careful with that.
Yeah. I look. I'll be fine.
So, just the four of you head into the inn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rosamund puts her hand on her hip like this.
I take it down and like, oh honey, no, okay.
So you guys walk in, and you see the three guys sitting around the table. The innkeeper is just like not sure what's going on, but all right. And the one guy who winked at you before Odella goes, "Well, I see you didn't bring any of your things, unless these are your things."
I mean, what can I say? Girls gotta have friends, right?
Sure.
Think you guys can show these ladies a good time too?
There is some one of the.
Hesitation.
There's some hesitation, yeah. There's passively, I mean, there's weird-ass crazy chick with a turban. Other chick who has a hood up that has, like, no discernible face. And then massively tall, visibly muscular, fire-haired woman. And then you. A little intimidating, to say the least.
You're scampy choosers.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sure. So there's like definitely some stare down stuff going on here where people they're looking back at you and they're like, so the one guy who's talked to you before, Odella, says, so how's this work? So tell me, like, one-on-one, what's the deal? I want to know the specifics. And he looks at you, Odell, and he goes, "No offense, but I don't want Jethro sloppy seconds." So, and then the other two guys were like smiling, and then they're like, "Oh, no, no."
Ew. What did Jethro have?
I mean, there are a bunch of dudes sitting around a table drinking, and they're kind of assholes. He might not have had anything. That just, may not be a thing that they want to,
Yeah, I know.
deal with. So they're like, yeah, no. So there's three of you and three of us. How does this work?
How do you think it works?
Well, okay, so, alright, so the one guy who was looking at you, looks at the other two guys, and he's like, "Ha!" And he goes, "I'll take your tall friend there," and points at Lux.
I point at him and I beckon towards me.
Okay, and he saunters over jauntily, and then the other two guys look at each other, and then the one guy just goes, "I choose the one with the hood," and the other guy's like, "I'll take the weird one with the turban."
Oh no.
No, that's me. Now we really have to kill them.
Yeah, I'm
Okay. When he says the weird one, Rosamund's face kind of steals a little bit, and she's like, "Alright."
So,
I'll be like, tell you what. Since you seem a little disappointed with your choice there, I know I'm sloppy seconds, but maybe I'll come along.
he goes, "No, no, sorry, you're not my type."
Rosamund's like, "Okay, let's
In
go."
the script features is his type.
Yeah, so am I to assume that this works exactly like I'm thinking? Like everybody goes off to their own each couple, as it were, goes to a separate room.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk this out real quick. Rather than, do we want to just go room by room? This room plays out their whole scene, rather than like, okay, you, and then you, and then you, and then
That'll
like.
probably be easier.
Okay, so who wants firsts? I guess.
I think Lux wants.
Lux wants firsts. Okay,
There,
so
Lexi Poo.
Lux, you are taking someone to. He shows you where his room is, on the first floor. Yeah, and he leads you into his room and shuts the door behind the two of you.
So, what do you do?
I'm gonna, before I,
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
just gonna say this real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow behind them just nonchalantly, but before I do, I'm gonna kind of slip the innkeeper some gold and be like, "You don't hear anything."
And he doesn't say anything, but he accepts the gold, but doesn't say anything. So back to Lux and guy number 2. This guy didn't get a name. The other guy was Jethro Hilton or something, but thanks to Mud Puppy. He says, "What do I do?" And he goes, "The very best, obviously."
What's the very best?
And he says, "Well, why don't you come join me on the bed and I'll show you." And he walks towards the bed and sits down on it and looks at you with a cocked eyebrow and a shit-eating grin and just kind of like arms spread and says, "What do you do?"
I walk slowly towards him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do this.
Okay.
And I begin to rage and I want to...
Gonna... I think...
rage?
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you said something after that because it sounded like you...
I'm going to rage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to punch him in the face.
Okay. So, we'll go ahead and roll for initiative. And then you'll have the surprise round on this guy. Battle music. Okay, so that's a 5. I'm just gonna use Odella's token because I don't feel like redoing this. So he got. So you go first because you got a 5 and he got a 3. So all right, so you're up first. You rage. You punch him in the face. Roll me an attack. So it'd be, just roll me a raging attack. Generally, it would be, it's your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus plus a d20.
Okay, so it's... Oops. Why does it do that?
I don't know.
No, it's like, when you click it up, it just, stops.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go.
Okay, a 12, unfortunately, he is shocked when he sees you go into the rage, and you go to punch him, and, his shock, he, reels back, and you swipe and miss, but then it's a surprise round, so he doesn't get to go, so now it's back to your turn again.
Do I get to hit him twice, though?
Oh, you're right, you do have 2 attacks, so yes, you do. You have
Yeah.
a second attack. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, that doesn't...
And he's just like, "Whoa!" And he leads back, and then he's like, "I'm so surprised!" And now it's your turn again.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. This time, yeah, I'm going to get my sword out.
Okay, yeah, so he's like, "What?" And then you're like, with a great sword, and he's like, "What?" And then go ahead and make me a raging attack there with your greatsword. Yeah, 25's gonna hit.
Now, I don't want to kill him.
Okay, fair. So 19 points of damage. He is still fine. Go ahead and make me a second attack. A 9 will miss. So he's at getting cleaved with the first. He pulls out his short sword and stops it barely just under your strength. And anything else on your turn?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. So then he stands up and draws his long sword from under the bed and goes to attack you. So first attack, 11. Second attack, 24?
Yeah, that hits.
So that's going to deal 7 points of damage, cut in half to 4 because you're raging. And then an offhand with his short sword is a 19. I think that misses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yeah, he swings once, missed, hits you for a little damage, and then misses again. It is now your turn. 18 would hit, but he brings his longsword across to parry and blocks that attack as a reaction, which is a thing he can do. That he cannot, though, so you hit him with that. And yeah, he's taken these hits like a champ, but you're hitting and finding, and we lost Laura, I guess. Did she say she was going? Did I miss that?
Yeah, she said she had to go in and do something real quick.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, that hits. Now it's his turn, and he's looked better, we'll say. Now it's his turn. Miss, and a miss. No luck. Your turn again.
Natural 20.
That was going to hit. So go ahead. So you said you were not killing him?
I am not. I just want him to pass the fuck out.
So you just, you bring the sword around in, an overhand chop, and then just with the pommel, just right on the top of the side of the skull, and he crumples to the floor.
Perfect. So I would grab something to tie him up and gag him.
Okay. Amir, let's go with you next. And we'll save Roswin for last. So, Mir, you are led into the room by a guy, and he goes and he shuts the door behind you, and he walks over to the bed, and he sits down on the bed, and he looks at you, and he kind of does one of these where he puts his leg up on the side of the bed, and he's got his arm on there, and he's looking at you, kind of the Burt Reynolds, and he goes, "So, how about you show me what's under that hood?"
Okay, so she's going to and she's gonna push back her hood and let him react to the fact that she's a fucking cat.
And he's not sure. You see a bevy of emotions cross his face: shock and curiosity, which turns to intrigue, which then he's starting to I wonder what that's like. And that's the series of emotions that goes over his face. And then he's like, all right, yeah, all right, oh sure, all right, yeah, we can do this.
And she just stands there in the middle of the room. She does not approach him.
And he says, and he goes, "You're awful quiet. I'm sure you get this one all the time, but what's the matter? Cat got your tongue?"
And then she killed him. And she just shakes her head and just gives him a head nod to come over.
And he goes, "Huh, a little shy. I like that." And he gets up and he walks towards you, saunters more, hands in his belt loops as he saunters on over towards you. And he says, "So," and he gets, well, I'll tell you what he's going, you tell me. So he gets up to you. And he begins to reach his hand up to stroke your face. And he's "So pretty kitty." And then he just kind of, the sentence trails off, and he it continues again to stroke the fur down your cheek line.
So she lets out a little purr.
And he, like, you see, like, an
a
eye,
little bit.
you know, his eyebrow cocks in a very people's eyebrow, like, way, and you see more clarity starts to come over his face as he starts to think more about, like, how this could go, and he's like, and, like, you see the other hand start to, like, reach up to, like, go around behind your back.
Now.
Yeah. Oh, you cut.
Duck.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
She will duck out of the way of his other hand. And if she can be so athletic, kind of behind him.
Okay.
And I want to use my crits.
Okay.
I want to use one crit
Yes.
for...
So you duck out of the way of his hand and move around behind him, right? And then you're going to use your crit to what? Sorry.
Dagger, main hand, to hobble him.
Okay. So I'll say you, you, like, saunteringly, like, move quickly around him, so he thinks that it's like a little game that you guys are playing. And, like, he, like, slowly follows and turns, and you pull on a little bit of your extra tabaxi speed and get behind him, and then you're able to, and without him expecting it, pull out a dagger, and I'm going to need you to go ahead and roll for initiative.
Initiative.
Okay. So you go first, and he's not expecting it, so I'm gonna give you, I know that's like you don't have advantage, but I feel like he's not expecting it, so I'm gonna count it as a sneak attack, because I feel like that makes the most sense to me.
I should have said short sword, it's not dagger.
Well, you said dagger, so we're gonna call it a critical hit with the dagger, so go ahead and...
Oh, I said dagger, okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
So go ahead and roll your damage. I'm sorry, you know what? Let me change a thing here. Actually, you know what? No, it's fine. So go ahead and roll your damage, and it is sneak attack. Because I feel like it's stupid for it to not be when they're not expecting it. And then so then roll me another d4 and another 3d6.
Can I put it the right way?
Okay. Right. Okay, so that is 21 to 8, 30 points of damage. That was the main hand. And you still have an offhand attack if you'd like to.
Yes. Can I use crit on that too?
You can, although I will warn you. Actually, you wouldn't have sneak attack now because he's aware of it and you are a thief. You could, but it will only do whatever the damage is twice. So if like it would normally be like a d6, it would only do 2d6.
Oh, okay. No, I won't use it right now.
So you can still do
I'll
the
just
attack.
do the offhand short sword.
Which is a crit anyway, so I guess there you go. So go ahead and roll the damage. It is not sneak attack.
Not sneak attack, okay.
7 damage. Okay. And then you beat him on initiative. It's his turn. He's surprised. It is now your turn again.
Okay. So this time I will use my crit again on the main hand short sword.
Okay. I will tell you this will not be sneak attack because he's aware of things now. So go ahead and roll your damage. So roll me an additional d6. Yes, 10. And then another 2.
Bad rolls. Oof.
And then roll me, and then you can do an attack on you with your offhand as well.
Sorry, what?
You can still make an offhand attack as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so 13 will miss, so he'll block that. Now it's his turn. And he's pretty bloodied, this guy. And he is going to pull out his longsword, and I'm going to use my crit that I got from Jake. So
Kill the kitty.
he's going to deal 17 points of damage to you. However, I will remind you that you are a rogue, so you can use Uncanny Dodge to half the damage as your reaction once a turn, which you just got at 5th level.
Like, you just use it when it's not your turn?
When you take damage, you can once a turn, melee weapon damage, you can reduce it by half as a rogue. So
Yeah.
So that will do, is that 9 points of damage.
Okay.
So that's his first attack.
That's 29.
He just did just the 9 points of damage to you.
9 points. Okay.
9 points total. Now his second attack is a 20. Does that hit you? Your armor class? I think it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this one is gonna do 11 points of damage. And then his third attack with his short sword
Wait, I'm doing math.
is another 19. And that will deal 9 points of damage. So that was 9. Let's see. 9 and 11 is 27 points of damage total.
Yep.
So, now it's your turn.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Now it is your turn.
Okay. Hopefully I roll better this time. Okay, so I'm going to... Is it like how far is one end from the other?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Like how much distance could someone create in a room?
There's not. You could get. I mean, if you backed up, you could get maybe, let's say, 15 feet away from this guy, if you wanted to.
Okay.
Do rogues get sneak attack if they have advantage on the roll?
Yes.
Okay, so I did give you a fate dice, which can give you advantage on it, so...
True. Fair enough.
A what?
You have a fate die. You actually, I think, have 2 fate dice, which you can use before you roll to get advantage on it. So that would
give you sneak attack if you hit. I'm
Yes.
just letting you.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
you could do that.
I could do that.
Yes, you could.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll use that, and I'll do the close range stuff. So,
Okay.
so
Go ahead and make me a
I'll
short
do-
sword attack. With advantage, 25 will hit. So go ahead and roll your damage. 21, that was sneak attack damage. Yeah. And you were not killing this guy, correct?
it's going to cripple him.
Okay. So in
Cripple it.
the typical Mirror way, you hamstring this man, and for all intents and purposes, he is unconscious.
Her finishing move.
Yeah, is to hamstring.
Classic Mer.
And then, so he's hamstring on the ground, and then you can tie him up and gag him or whatever, so that he's not, so that he's not able to move. So you are...
If you even could.
No, you're right. Well, I mean, he can move his upper body. His legs, not so much. Okay. We move to the next room. The final room. Roswin's room. As reluctant guy leads Roswin to a room, leads her into the room, and shuts the door behind him. And because this is what every single person here has done, he walks over to the bed, he sits down on the bed, and he pats the bed next to him and kind of like
they have a script.
yeah, I guess. And he kind of like motions his head over to the bed. To you, Rosalind.
She takes a deep breath and then she goes, "Could you lay down? I like to be on top."
Do I need to have you make a Constitution saving throw to not throw up right now?
No, she's good. She's steeled. She's ready for this.
Alright, so he goes, alright. And he puts his hands behind his head and he lounges out on the bed.
Okay, so she's gonna just slowly climb on top, and then she's gonna wild shape into a black bear.
Okay. So you climb on top of this guy and you take your action, essentially. So basically what I'm going to say is you wild shape into a black bear. And then I'm going to say we're going to roll for initiative. And now he's no longer surprised because you turned into a bear on top of him. He is now aware that there is a fight happening.
But can he get up?
We'll see. Go ahead and roll me initiative.
Let me find black bear initiative.
So he's going to go first.
Okay, that's fair.
So, how are we gonna deal this? I'm gonna say he can reach under his bed with his left hand and grab his long sword that's under the bed. And he is going to attack you 3 times in bear form, but he's technically prone, so he's gonna make them all at disadvantage, I guess.
Okay.
I'm trying to think about how I want to deal with this, because you're not grappling him, so technically there's nothing not allowing him to just stand up and like get out from underneath you. Although you are a bear, there's no mechanical way to do this, so I'm just gonna allow things to go the way they are for now because of rule of cool. So he rolls disadvantage. Does a 9 hit the bear?
No.
Okay, and he rolls again, disadvantage. Does a 13 hit the bear?
It does.
Alright, so he's gonna deal 11 points of damage to the bear.
Okay.
And then his short sword attack is a 10?
10 does not hit.
So now it is your turn.
Okay, multi-attack.
And I guess we'll say, if we're following the same rules, that you have advantage on these attacks because he's prone.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good for you. Because a 22 will hit, yeah. For 3 points. Alright. 20 will also hit. For 5 points. That's his turn. He's going to do the same thing. 20 will hit the bear, right? For another... Oh, damn, man. 11 points. I'm rolling 8s on these
Okay,
D8s.
so she's not a bear anymore.
So then he's like, ha! And then, like, for a second, he's like, oh, just turban girl. And then he's still going to attack. But you know what? No, he's going to slide out from underneath you now because you're a tiny little tiefling. So he's going to move, he's going to stand up for half of his movement. And he's going to just attack you regularly now. I'm going to say that him sliding out, you're not prone. We'll just say you're like kneeling on the bed, for which at all intents and purposes is standing. So he's just going to make straight attacks now.
Okay.
For a 15.
This is...
And then his offhand is another 15.
This...
Your turn.
Okay. I am going to... You know, do I hear, like, commotion from the other rooms?
I'm sure you would have if you were listening, but you're in the heat of the moment here, so you're... Roswin is not that battle-hardened that she's, like, fully aware of everything happening in other rooms while she's in the midst of a fight for her life, potentially.
Well, then she'll just be like, and cast Moonbeam because she's scared.
Okay. So you A beam of moonlight descends upon this gentleman in the room, illuminating the room. Okay, illuminating the room in a blue, silver, glowing light. So he's got to go ahead and cast Moonbeam at 3rd level. 21 points. DC 15 con save. Fuck, nope, he fails. So he takes 21 points of radiant damage from your Moonbeam. So he's a little bit thrown off by the Moonbeam. But because it's a 10-foot radius and you're in a small room, there's really no way he can't not be in the Moonbeam.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it's on the Moonbeam, remind me, is that on the start of his turn or the end of his turn?
I believe it's it would make sense to start, but...
Some of them are weird. Here, I got it right here. When a creature enters a spell for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there. Great. It's his turn. Roll me damage again. $17 points of damage. Alright. He is hurting, but he's gonna lash out. And he's like, as he moves, you see the sword reflect the beam of moonlight. Then 11, a 10, and then a 24 with the short sword.
Alright, well, obviously it's 24.
For 6 damage. It is your turn.
Okay. How bad does he look?
He looks pretty rough.
Okay, she's gonna drop Moonbeam.
Okay.
And go in with Fair Samey, and I'm gonna take my crit, and it's gonna be non-lethal.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Ooh, yeah, go ahead. Because I just remembered it now, but go ahead and make your roll. I'm checking a thing. Um, 21. Ah, yeah, my bad. So go ahead. Roll your damage. Or roll your hit. Oh wait, you crit. Never mind. Roll your damage.
Yeah, so 2d8 plus 5. I don't multiply the 5 too, right?
No. But, so 12 points of damage. He is barely hanging in there. I forgot that crits explode was my mistake, because I always forget.
Bonus action, I'm going to take 2 Fey Heal dice.
Okay. Heal yourself a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. I forgot. I'm going to say that I'm going to start now because I remembered that crits explode, but I didn't do it for the other guys when they crit, so we'll just count it as
That's
a
fine.
wash. So now it counts. So he's going to make an attack. And he misses. And he's going to make another attack. 18?
18 hits.
Okay, and he's going to deal 11 points of slashing damage with his longsword. And then a natural 20. And then he's going to roll 2d6 and crits explode for 15 points of damage. And now it is your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna use another crit and boop him again.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage. You boop, and down he goes. I was really wondering if you were going to be able to roll an 8 and continue chaining 8s to above his maximum hit dice, and then he would just die.
That'd be terrible. She feels so bad.
Yep, boop, and down he goes.
Okay, she's gonna use her silk rope, which she has.
Sure.
Tie him up and gag him.
Okay.
Hey,
That...
ladies, let's loot the bodies and have a nice night in the inn.
We should invite everybody in, and then
No, we shouldn't, Roswell.
What? But then the innkeep would make so much money.
He already made his money.
Okay, wow. I feel bad leaving all my friends out there.
They'll be fine.
Can I invite Frida in? Because we're really tight. It's just one person.
I feel like she would be okay with the situation.
Okay.
Alright, so you guys are able to get the inn and stay in the inn. We're going to take a break now.
Loot the sleeping dickwads.
You loot the sleeping dickwads. They all have short swords and long swords and heavy crossbows and splint mail armor and no gold on them at all. You get the feeling that they probably paid the barkeep a fairly handsome sum to rent out this entire place.
I have none left.
Nope.
Losers.
Sure. Well, you'll never know the true story unless you ask them.
We'll see. Let's take our break.
Okay, so first of all, let's figure out experience here before we take a break, because we've got...
Yeah, Sean says that we should check their butts for gold.
Sometimes mud pennies are a thing. Everybody gets 1,000 XP. So that's a thing. So, next up, we are going to take our break here as you guys rest yourself easily in the inn, out of the cold where it's nice and warm and dry. But let's change up our music because that's a little too sad for doing a giveaway here. So let's go with this one. No, let's go with the Roswin bubbly music. So, as we said at the beginning, let's see, what's a good, okay, I got it. We'll do this, and we'll reset. Prize is, okay, there we go. So, folks, we are going to do a giveaway here on the stream. For those of you loyal viewers, we're doing these throughout the month of July on all of the streams. We're doing a giveaway in stream. So I'll activate it in the chat, but what you guys will be able to enter to win is this sweet set, I gotta actually see where I am in frame here, is these Polyhero Warrior dice. I don't know if you can really make these out in the case here, but like, for instance, the D6 looks like a sword. The D8 looks like a mace. The D20 is like a cool shield thing. The D12 is like a helmet. The D10s, which are percentile, and the percentile are gauntlets. You can see the fist there on the end. And then a smaller dagger is the D4. So, what do you have to do to win these? You, once I activate it here in the chat, type the word boop in the chat and you will join the giveaway. So all you have to do is type boop and you'll be entered to win the giveaway. We're going to go take a short break, and when we get back, we'll choose the winner. So just type the word boop to enter to win a set of these Polyhero Warrior dice. I'll contact the winner once we decide after the break. I'll contact you via Twitch and get your information so we can mail this out to you as soon as possible. So, again, going forward, every stream, tomorrow night here, when we're playing Storm King's Thunder, there will be another giveaway. This coming Sunday, when we play Curse of Strahd, there will be another giveaway. And then every Tuesday for the rest of July, and then the last Monday of July, when the ladies are playing again, there will be another giveaway. So, not only can you enter via this code here, July, to enter our overall giveaway, to win a Elderwood Academy spellbook, you can also enter these to get cool stuff during the stream. So, anyway, we're going to take a short break because we are coming up close to the end of the stream time in general. But I have a couple things I want to end the stream note on. So we're going to take like a 5-minute break. You guys can enjoy this sweet BRB image put up by our lovely Light Nevea and some chiptune music from all of your favorite classic games. And we will be right back. So, let's choose our winner for who typed boop in the chat. Who's going to win this sweet set of Polyhero Warrior dice? and stop entries and picking the winner, Mud Puppy. Congratulations, Mud Puppy. You and I chat all the time, so I will just have to get a hold of you via one of our various means of contact, probably Discord, or you can just preemptively just message me and just get me your address, and I'll get this in the mail to you. So
Awesome.
yeah, so you guys rest through the night, have a wonderful warm evening. Out of
I imagine
the
this is our like theme music.
Yeah.
Inside.
Is there a bath, like a central bathtub? No, I'm just kidding.
no, there is no central bath. However, there is wash basins where you can all clean each other. Clean each other if you want, but clean clean up and get yourself ready for the road again.
Is there a kitchen here? Can I use it to make a pie?
Sure.
Okay, I make as many pies as I can make.
I'm gonna say it's just one.
Okay.
So
Well,
pick wisely.
I'm gonna make apple pie, because that seems like a reasonable thing to have on hand.
Okay. You make
It's Lux's favorite.
All right. Well, you make an apple pie in the kitchen. What do you guys do with the creepy dudes that were in the room?
Put 'em all in
Oh
one
shit! All right, we got a $15 or $20 donation, rather. I'm sorry, my mistake. That Sean just put in there to donate, or Ronnie the Bear, I should say, but a magic item table F roll for Mir. So, can I get Mir to make me a percentile roll, please?
Okay. Sure. Coming up. Okay. Got it.
Gotcha. Okay, 47. Unfortunately, the item that you rolled is, since it's all determined at random, magic item table F, you get an item that is unfortunately not useful to anybody in the party, but that's okay. That's the magic item table rolls. You,
Gotten that before.
in the process of getting up, you realize, hey, there's something else in the room that you were staying in. You find a rod, a wooden, metal. Let me tell you what it is in a second here once I flip to the page. Cool. It doesn't actually. There's no picture. That's so dumb. Anyway, you find an adamant. No, I did adamantium a lot. Let's make it a stradium rod. So this is a dark black, almost like you ever seen this stuff with a material that's like so dark black it almost looks fake in real life? It is a rod made of a dark black metal material that crackles with like thunder and lightning energy, and this is a rod of the Pact Keeper +1. May have to trade that
Warlocks.
to some warlock down the road, or sell it potentially in a town, or trade it to someone else. So that's what you get.
What's it called?
A rod of the Pact Keeper +1.
Okay.
I saw what you
I'm
wrote.
lucky Jen is gonna get that.
I saw what you wrote in the chat there, Liz. I wonder if we should make that one of the quotes, the quote system in the
It was really
in-game,
memorable for
in the
me,
roll
personally.
20, the roll 20 chat. Oh man, that's a good.
Roswin seems the kind of person who wants to be on top. I don't
Yeah,
know, maybe.
totally, definitely her. Also, I don't know why it didn't update the boss, the bit boss battle there. That's kind of weird. I might have to look into that. It should have updated when we got the donation. I'll have to fix that. All right, so that happens, and then I guess you guys leave in the morning.
Wait, okay, before we leave,
Mhm.
those guys, did they have any sort of like insignia on them to say like who they might be at all, or no?
Nope.
They were just posers. Just fucking posers, that's all.
Before we leave, I do want to take one of my pieces of paper and my quill and right in front of the guy who I took out, leave a note that says, "Don't call people weird. It's not very nice."
Okay. You write that note, and then you just leave the note there?
Yeah.
Okay. So the person who kicked the shit out of the guy doesn't want to confront him in the morning and leaves him a note instead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright, so you guys head out from the inn, I guess?
Yep.
Yep.
And I do tell Mir that if she does want to sell that, I know a really nice warlock lady.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if she wants people to know, so if you want, I can be like the middleman.
That would be great.
I'll talk to her later for you.
All their like swords and short swords and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Can I go put it in like the manure pile out back?
Sure.
They're not like anything that's gonna be like super valuable. They don't look like masterwork.
They're
or
not.
anything like
No, they're just, like, generic.
that. Okay. Put it in the poop pile.
Yeah, I would help her do that.
Do their horses look like they're being like okay traded?
Yeah.
You want to talk to them?
No. I just want to make sure they're not being abused, and if they're okay, then they can keep them.
So, we leave? We good?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so we're coming up to the end of the stream, and I just want to do one thing before we stop. Okay, we've had enough of our super happy-go-lucky music. Let's get some just generic music here. Alright, so you guys are back on the road. You travel down the road for a handful of days. We'll say 6 days. If there's anything you want to have done over that 6 days, we'll handle that off stream, and we can talk about it next stream, just because I want to get this piece out of the way, and, you know, like rolling for herbs and things of that nature. So, you guys are traveling down the road. It's been a fairly uneventful few days when one of the wagons, which I will tell you which one in a second, once I figure out which one I haven't told you what's going on with them yet, as we head back here. Okay, let's go with this wagon right here, the one that's in front of Farida, but like in between Farida and Taijit and the halfling guy who stares wistfully off into the distance. So once again, I'll ping it. It's that one there. As you guys
A
are...
woman driver with black hair and brown eyes. She's got a man guard with crew cut but clean shaven. They're both human.
Yes, that one. It goes around a corner, and the wheel goes, the wagon and a cartwheel goes over a rock and breaks, and the cart kind of topples, and out of the back, several of the crates roll out and crack open onto the ground, stopping, effectively stopping the caravan. And these crates break open, and there's, it's packed full of crates, but as these crates break open and smash and lay loose on the ground, spilling forth from the crates are, or I guess just one of the crates, jewelry, wrapped in, like fanciful looking jewelry that's wrapped in wool, things that you can kind of see inside, that seems to be for protection. There are gemstones and just a bevy of gold coins just spill out of this crate all over the place. and like they're like they're all like all upset, and they're like they stop and like jump out of the cart, and they're like trying to, and there's a bunch of it on the ground. They're trying to like pick it back up and put it back in the crate and get it back on the caravan there. But it would stop, I guess, Farida, Lux, Odella, Frank, and Nathan, because everybody in the back there.
I would have, yeah, I would have helped him. I mean,
Okay.
stuff.
Yes, there is a lot. I'll tell you basically off, but there is a ton. This is all very expensive stuff. This is a lot of gold and a lot of value here. So they seem like very flustered, and they're trying to like pick it back up, and you guys go over to offer assistance. Is that what I heard? Odella and Lux. And they seem kind of grumbly and upset that this kind of spilled all over the road, but they're like, yeah, thank you, and they're not very, they don't seem like they're necessarily mad at you, they're just more like frustrated, but like you are offering to help, so they're like okay with it. So they're, we appreciate it. And they're just like, I mean, are you guys just like offering to help pick stuff up and put it back in the crate, or how is your help offer?
Yeah, I would offer to pick up the stuff and see if there's a way that I could fix the wheel for them.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna pick up stuff.
Okay. And yeah, okay. So you guys you see the halfling, the kind of misty-eyed halfling who doesn't like do much. He kind of like you see him, Odella, you see him eyeing the gold and stuff that fell out like with a more than curious eye. But again, it's hard not to because of just the sheer amount of stuff that's there. Mud Puppy, thank you again for the donation. Whose role on the magic item table who would you like to have roll on the magic item table? Just gotta let me know in the chat. So yeah, you guys witnessed that. And Roswin gets one. Okay, Katie, make me a percentile roll.
51.
51.
Thanks, puppy.
Okay. I think this is actually one that you can make use of.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so again, you guys help clean up and put all the massive amounts of gold back into the crate and back into the cart, and they, like I said, they begrudgingly offer thank yous to you, and they're exceptionally thankful to you, Lux, for being like helping to kind of like hoist up the wagon so they can reset a new wheel to get themselves back on the road. They seem more amenable to you, Odella, now that you have help them. But again, you notice that halfling did seem a little overly interested in the gold there.
While I'm helping them too, I'm going to introduce myself and hopefully get a couple of names off of them.
Sure. So you introduce yourself, and sorry, I need a name for these guys. And okay, so I said it was a man and a woman, right?
Yep.
It is Felicia.
Oh shit!
Is the woman,
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
and Felicia, and I'm trying to not pick one that I already used so far. And didn't use Nigel yet, right? We'll go with Nigel.
There's a Nigel.
Is there a Nigel? There is a Nigel, isn't there?
Brennan.
Yeah, that's true. We'll go with Mel. You know what? Sure, Calamity, Jeff. It's Jeff. Felicia and Jeff.
Jeff.
My name is Gia.
So those are their names.
I'm just gonna imagine he looks like Channing Tatum now.
So you, Roswin, when you're getting ready for the day, I guess, you're like clearing the path in front of your cart, and you like go to move a stick out of the way, and you're like, whoa, this is much more than just a stick. It looks like this, right wherever my hand is here. It looks like that, yep. And this is a staff of the Adder. Funny enough, this uncommon staff can only be attuned by clerics, druids, or warlocks. And you can use a bonus action to speak the staff's command word and make the head of the staff become that of an animate poison snake for 1 minute. By using another bonus action to speak the command word again, you return the staff to its normal inanimate form. You can make a melee attack using the snake head, which has a reach of 5 feet. Your proficiency bonus applies to the attack roll. On the hit, the target takes 1d6 piercing damage and must succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or take 3d6 poison damage. The snake's head can be attacked while it is animate. It has an armor class of 15 and 20 hit points. If the head drops to 0 hit points, the staff is destroyed. As long as it's not destroyed, the staff regains all its lost hit points when it reverts to its inanimate form.
Nice. That's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, it was so close to a staff of the python, which is very similar, except it turns into a giant constrictor snake instead of a... Now it's just more like a sneaky snake.
Sneaky snake.
Sneaky snake. Okay. So...
Now you just have to walk with 2 staffs.
Just strap them next to each other.
It's like cross-country, you like running, you've got your 2 sticks.
Somehow, like, grow them together. No, I'm just kidding.
I will throw this out there. It only will happen if the opportunity arises, but if anybody else on any of our other streams, people purchase a magic item for people on the other streams, their magic items purchased in Magic Item Month are tradable between streams. So if somebody gets something on another stream that's useful to one of you guys, I'll make the connection happen and you can make the swap if so needed. Obviously, they're also tradable within party. If you wanted to trade the Staff of the Adder for the Rod of the Pact Keeper, that's a thing you could do. Okay. And that was really all I wanted to do, was the cart tips over and all the gold and gems and everything spills out, and you guys put them back and meet Felicia and Jeff.
I'm gonna kind of mention under my breath that the halfling, like, kind of nod my head towards the halfling just so they can keep an eye on him.
Okay. Yeah, and I think, because I don't want to dive too much into things, I don't feel like I really want to go into much more. So, for your purposes, of those of you guys here in the chat, and use guys here in the stream that are playing, 6 days passed before this happened, so keep that in mind. We have 6 days to account for, and then another 5 days are going to happen post this gold tipping over situation. So we got like 11 days to play
Wasn't there
with.
4 before as well?
We didn't really say anything specific, but yeah, there were 4 before the room at the tavern.
Okay, yeah, because I just wanted to
Yes.
herb stuff.
Yeah.
Herb stuff.
Yeah, screw it, what the hell. The next day, Odella, you noticed that halfling, after this, during the 5 days, the next day, that halfling came down with a really bad illness. Like, he's sick as a dog in the back of the cart, and is, like, groaning and not, like, able to move, like, laid out in bed.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, I was not really
Yeah.
paying attention, so...
After the gold situation, the next day, that halfling that you had told them that he was eyeing it, he is suddenly, unexpectedly sick as a dog and basically unable to move and laid out, like, puking his guts out in the back of the caravan.
Can I just check to see if he was poisoned?
Next time.
Cat.
So, anyway,
Bring
guys.
that down so we don't forget.
Anyway, guys, thank you all for coming out and checking out the stream. Congratulations again to Mud Puppy for winning the sweet set of Poly Hero Warrior dice. Make sure you come out to the stream again tomorrow night, same time, for us resuming Storm King's Thunder with Celine added in as a fourth character, Pat taking over the DM seat. We are giving out another set, or not a set of dice, but we're giving out something else tomorrow night as a prize during the course of the stream. And again, for the very last time, I will post this here. If you haven't gone to that first link in the chat there, go there now, check it out, because all you have to do is follow us on a couple of things, and you can enter to win this sweet Elderwood Academy spellbook. And who knows, we've gotten conversations with some other vendors. We may be adding second and third prizes to that contest as well. So make sure you go and jump in to get yourself a chance to win. And the drawing for that will be at the end of the month. So, anyway, guys, we hope you have enjoyed this stream. Was there anything else you lovely ladies would like to tell people here on the internet? Things to check out or comments otherwise before we call it a night?
I do want to say, because I told them I would plug them, but my friends are doing a stream on Wednesday nights. They're kind of brand new and just starting out. They don't really have a lot of people, so if you could go check them out. They are at Get Dunked On podcast, which is really hard, so I will probably write it in Discord or the chat right now. So.
Okay. Get Dunked On podcast, you said? Okay, and what is it about?
They just started a D&D 5e campaign.
Gotcha.
There's a couple of people that have never played before, so they're kind of noobs, and I just wanted to send some D&D love their way.
Sure. We'll be sure to check those guys out. Anybody else? Light, I know you've been doing like a million streams.
Yeah, I've actually been doing a lot of streams lately. Just been playing GTA RP. It's a 5M thing. I play multiple characters, but at the moment, I'm actually loving this character named Jinx. She's a good listener and full of knowledge, and if she wanted to, she could probably take half the server down.
All right.
And you can find me on my channel, Light in the Van.
Sure. I think I have a thing somewhere. Is that it? Yeah, there you go. You can check out Light's stuff right there. Also, one last time, we do have a Discord server. You guys can go check out our Discord server. All of us pretty much are there. We talk all the time about D&D stuff. You can get DM advice, D&D advice in general. We had a big conversation about Cajuns this morning was the topic of conversation. You know, it goes all over the place. So you can go and check that out and keep tabs on what's going on and whenever any of the streams are going live or anything like that. I don't want to cut myself short. So, Katie, did you have anything you wanted to plug?
Not too much. I am on streams every Sunday on Mixer instead of Twitch on my friend Gozira's channel, who we've played with a couple times. I can link that.
Yes, and I will say in the future we may be having additional one-shots here at random times, and hopefully, if I can nail down the rest of the people, an additional stream on the Monday when the Belladonnas aren't playing, a different stream playing through Princes of the Apocalypse, so that way we'll be consistent in Mondays and Tuesdays, and soon to be short, maybe half-hour streams on Wednesday that I'm calling It Builds Character, where I build characters. And there you go.
Is it like improv? Can we suggest things?
Yes, absolutely. That's actually my preference, because then I don't have to do all the legwork of coming up with all that shit ahead of time. I probably will for the first few, like, but yeah. So, Liz, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
No. Thanks for the items, though. I'm so flattered. People spend money on us to have items.
Yeah, that was super awesome.
Yes, we appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
There's a talk, and I haven't worked this out. We're having an internal Nerd Immersion conversation. That's $40, which I'll keep track of possibly setting a fairly high goal of dollar donations for the month of July, like in the hundreds of dollars. If we surpass that, possibly letting people get a roll on Magic Item Table H, which is the very rare table, and if it gets even higher, Magic Item Table I, the legendary table, if enough
Okay.
people donate.
Get me a deck of many things. I will ruin this game instantly.
Oh my god, do not do that.
If
I
it
need
gets-
some chaos, but I can't handle that.
I mean, if we get enough money and we decide that that's like, I don't know, I'll pull a number out of my ass and say $400, which is crazy and probably won't happen. But if it did, I'd say everybody on all the streams gets a legendary Magic Item Table roll. And if somebody gets the deck of many things, well, fuck it then. You get a deck. I mean, you could get like a +3, you know. You could get something that obviously is way not useful to you, so you never know.
Oh my god, if we get the deck of many things, like, say goodbye to the pre-written, like, we're it's so off book at that point.
I mean, some of it could be just like, some of it is just like high-level armor, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but also, when we were doing it in the 24-hour stream, I got sent to another dimension. So...
I think I lost all my, like, items. Or...
My gold.
You lost all your personal gold. Katie and Laura lost all of their magic items. But the next card, because I had to draw one, because I had extra wishes that people gave me, so I undid that one. So you guys didn't lose all of your magic items.
Right, and then I drew another one, and I ended up getting, like, so much gold that I just was like, I buy the town, and retire.
And then we also have... but then we had Sean come in at the end and was just like, I picked 2 cards from the deck, and everybody's like, what are you doing? And he got nothing but good cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then someone got turned into a fucking squash.
Yeah, Jal got turned into a gourd. His soul trapped in a gourd. And you guys spent most of, like, that's where the campaign went, to rescue him from the gourd. And Homer got Keep.
He did, and that's where the gourd was in the end.
Yep.
Yeah, didn't somebody have to fight death or something?
I think so, and there was the T-Rex fight. Somebody donated to add a Copper Dragon Druid who was your party member, or, like, Rygoth.
That was a good time. I hope we return to that world, because I want to play my sorcerer.
Okay.
The emerald dragon friend.
Yes, I have decided alright, screw it. We're all talking, so I'll just say it now. Sometime in September, there's going to be 2 24-hour streams here on the channel. One is going to be an in-person 24 hours at this table playing through Tomb of Annihilation, the new campaign that comes out in September. We're going to try to do as much of it as physically possible in 24 hours. And then we'll finish it off eventually, but we're going to try to bang out as much of that as possible. And then at one point we're going to do a 24-hour online stream continuing from where we left off last stream 5 years later, after the defeat of Gordon. 5 years later, we rejoin everybody. We're potentially going to be adding in a lot more other people, so it's not going to be the same people all the time. So we're going to try to... We have more fan base, we have more people, and some people, like, oh, you kind of suck to play with, but, like, I only have to play with you for 3 hours, it's fine. So we can bring in more people, and it's a 24-hour charity stream, so things get a little crazy. So we'll definitely pull in a bunch of people, and, you know, some people will bring in brand new characters, other people will bring in characters you know, but 5 years later. For instance, that Emerald Dragon will be a little bit stronger. The Squirtle that Sean was gifted will become a War Turtle. It'll be a good situation. So
Well,
you
I
never
just have an army of men. 'cause
probably. Most of you have bros as mounts, so like.
I have a bro
Dude, I
mount.
forgot. You guys all got bro mounts. And I
Yes.
was like, what is
Yeah.
happening?
I have a
'Cause
bro
I came
mount.
back like 7 hours later and I was like, what? Why are people riding people around?
It's so hard for my character because she is a ranger.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm not comfortable. I'd like the ground, please.
Yeah, that was something, guys. So
Yeah, and that one's cool because you actually get to pick what item
Yes.
you're giving people.
because it's for charity, so that's
for the-
why it's for the kids. Some people come back with Dwarven Plate, Belts of Fire Giant Strength, and Vorpal Longswords, so it's whatever. Anyway, I think I've said it one last time, because there's been some new people who joined. Check the link in the chat to enter our giveaway to win some awesome stuff. Tune back in tomorrow night, same time, 8:30 to probably around this time, where we're going to be playing Storm King's Thunder. And we're going to be doing a giveaway in the chat. And also, this coming Sunday, starting at 10 a.m., much earlier than usual, going to about 4 p.m., we're doing a marathon section of our Curse of Strahd campaign, where yet again, we'll be doing a giveaway live in the stream. And that one has a very special giveaway, something that I'm a big fan of, that's used on our streams fairly often, and it's probably one of the coolest things we may give away as part of an in-stream thing. So be sure to come check that out. And keep an eye on YouTube for more videos and all the other good stuff. And again, for the last time, join our Discord, because we're always there, and you can always chat with us there and ask questions and whatnot. So, anyway, guys, thank you all so much for your support and coming and checking it out and getting us to where we are today. We hope to get further, and maybe if things work out, I'll see you guys at Gen Con. You never know. Hell, I mean, if enough people donate to get the Magic Item Table I'll probably go to Gen Con. Because, Gen Con. I'll meet all you guys in person. We'll play games. It'll be great. Good time. Anyway, guys. I'm gonna go for real this time. Goodbye, everyone.
Adios.